What are your favorite things to do on set with Fernando?
For me personally, I've always liked the more kind of like a bigger approach on things. So looking at the bigger perspective and looking at things from the outside and kind of understanding that there are different roles to be played, but there are also different parts of the process that have to be broken down, have to be executed properly. So I think that's what really gets my attention when it comes to directing, because the director is that position where you see everything from pre-production, through post-production. Yes, it drives you nuts, especially on smaller projects where you have to write the script, you have to direct talent, you have to know what's going on with that shot list, you have to know where the lights are. Sometimes not the case anymore because we have a great gaffer that I try to put on every single project I can, and a great DP, but a lot of times other people select those for you. And when that happens, and it's happened to me multiple times, you have to kind of go with the flow and kind of roll with what you have. And that's scary because sometimes you don't have the right team with you. And when that happens for a director, frustrating because you have already planned everything in the pre-production. You already have that production going, and then you realize, okay, hold on. I know the story I'm trying to tell. This is not it. That's not the story I'm trying to tell. And so answering your question, my love for it is the understanding of the story and making it come to life. That's my love for this. And you know, without a cinematographer, there's no way to do it. Of course, that's who's actually capturing that footage. And without any position on set, really, regardless of how big or small the set is, it's impossible to do that. And then the editing. The director has to be working closely with the editor to figure out if that story that you thought about in the beginning is still the story you're trying to tell now, months later, sometimes years later, when it comes to a feature film.
Yeah, definitely it's a work effort, but it's a team effort. And also, as personally, I feel like the thing you do best is the thing that you spend more time in. And whether it's a DP or directing, that probably would be the thing you've been spending the most time at it. And that is just convenient for at least three of us, because like when we get to produce together, we just, boom, do our thing, you know? But then when it comes to you being a freelancer or just like finding yourself in a set, you don't know anybody, you kind of need to get back to your roots where you like to problem solve, and then you probably will be doing the best work ever, you know?
Yeah, no, it's kind of true, and it's kind of like what Fernando said last time. Having that team with you, having someone that can understand your vision and can kind of help you put that together. As a DP, my favorite thing is like getting the actual vision, getting the visual perfect to what you're trying to do in your story. Everything's a language. When you're talking, there's different languages. When you're playing music, that's a language of sound. And when you're doing a feature, when you're doing a commercial, like that visual aspect is another type of language that you're trying to convey with the type of story you're trying to do. So having a good team that can amplify what you're doing, make what you're doing better. For example, I'm the DP. I need a great gaffer like Val to up my DP skills with her amazing lighting. Fernando, every time I direct with him, if he's directing somebody and he's really telling them what to do and really kind of letting them go into that role, then the footage comes out with a great scene and a great person talking behind the camera.
And another thing is like when you work for a bigger client, if there's more people involved, you need to be like more specific for the job that you should be doing. And that also is like a switch of like mindset a little bit. But yeah, anyways.
So real world examples. Yesterday I was filming this commercial for a gym, but it was like a friend that needed social media short little videos for his local, yoga and fitness studio, and it's like a small space. It's the definition of a small business, something he started a couple years ago, and he just needed those videos. So I go in with my camera, go in with a couple of small little lights, a microphone, and I'm getting this content, and I'm getting all of these different videos, and I'm just realizing that also fuels me. That also gives me that adrenaline of like, okay, everything depends on you. If you don't capture it, if you don't capture the sound, if you don't get the footage, if you don't do this, and you already have to do it thinking about the editing that you're gonna do, then it's pointless. There's no reason for them to hire you. And there's something about that. There's an adrenaline that kind of keeps you going. And it's the videographer, really. That's like the job of a videographer, the guy that has to do, or a girl that has to do everything in creating that video, right? And it's so much responsibility, but it's so cool to do that. And then on Friday, I have this huge project I'm directing, and it's probably gonna be like 20 people on set. And again, yeah, it depends on me, but then I have, like Val said, different people playing different roles on set. So it's really fun to me how that works with film, and how there are different stages and things just get more specific, right? Do you guys want to share any last stories when it comes to that? Maybe a big and a small client?
Yeah, I mean, I can jump onto a project I did like a day or two ago. This guy's a social media guy. He does coaching, and he's trying to get more people through the door. So he hired us to go on there and capture all of his footage. We helped him. We did a lot of pre-production, and we kind of went down the scripts. This was a fun time because I'm usually the DP, but I can kind of go in there and kind of direct the type of things he's saying and kind of tweak the wording for the platform you're going to put it on. I think the more you kind of do these, the more you kind of try realizing, where is this going to end up? Is this going to end up on a website? Is this going to end up on TV? Is this going to end up on social media? And that kind of helps you tweak your approach and tweak what you're going to do with them. So it was a great fun time sitting down with him and shooting something vertical the whole time. Vertical is always a fun thing to shoot. And then shooting things that are slightly different than what we usually shoot. We're not shooting things that are cinematic or eye-catching. We're shooting things vertical with someone talking and kind of getting those points across. So it was a good exercise of things I've done before compared with like minimal cinematography.
Yeah, it's different. But if you're in the role, I mean, there's like this flashback, I feel like, that come from other people you've seen doing the same thing that comes to you. You know, like the way the last interview I was in for C4, like the way Nate kind of did the whole interview, kind of bring me to a mindset when I have to be interviewing. I kind of use the same way to, I don't know, probably make a conversation and get the right answers out of it. But it comes from other people you've worked with or other people you've seen, whether it's, you know, your favorite YouTuber or somebody that is super legit. You know that you want to build your own technique, but you also get inspiration from other people you've seen directing, for example, or, you know, just doing this type of things.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's like a class, right? Life is like a class, and you can learn inside an actual classroom and learn from professors, or you can just learn from other people you've worked with. So you're gonna get hopefully the best part of all of them, and try to make that into you and you growing as a professional. Because we're all here learning different things every day. It doesn't matter, again, if you have a degree or not, and what kind of degree you have, or where you went to school. No one's going to know everything, so you're still going to learn with specific people and specific projects. That's what I think is so helpful of being always active and working on stuff. And we're all always active, which is great. Sometimes we're working together on stuff, sometimes we're working individually on different things, and what matters is we're always learning and we're always practicing our craft.
And bringing new stuff into our own projects.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's also true. So especially for me here, it's a whole journey being in a whole different country in my home country here in Brazil. I will bring so much from this culture and from this way of creating things. And even Val, when she goes to like Texas to shoot this with C4, she was bringing us other styles and approaches, and same with Emmanuel. I don't know how Emmanuel was filming for social media 2 days ago because he was at a music festival in a different state, for you guys that don't know. So I don't know how he was able to do both, but I don't doubt it. I mean, this guy.
You got to multitask, man. You got to multitask everything you have.
Half of his body is out here partying, the other half is like, yeah.
The older I get, the more of like the life, it's like everything's multitasking, everything's juggling, everything all at once.
That's true. That is true. And we don't even have kids yet, and we're not even married. So imagine what's gonna happen in the future.
It only gets worse.